Hey, Riley.
Yeah, Andrew?
What do you say we start a podcast?
I'd say that sounds like a pretty good time.
Okay, cool.
But what would he do? What would we record? Like, what would it be about?
So I've got an idea here. I think that we should start. So I got a novel idea for you. It is a media rewatch podcast.
I don't think that's ever been done. I'm done.
I don't think it has, but this one has a twist.
Okay.
For this one, we're going to have the most chill podcast imaginable because we are going to be laying back on the beach, hanging out, Mai Tais in hand, just having a nice, pleasant evening as we talk about shows based solely on their beach episodes.
Ooh. Okay. Now, when we understand the phrase beach episode, what does this mean? Do we mean an episode that takes place on the beach, or do we mean an episode in which there is no major action? It is just a good time.
You know what? I think that we should start the show specifically focused on episodes taking place at the beach. But I think that we could once we sell out, we could obviously expand ourselves further.
Yeah, absolutely. Once we sell out, again, maximum fun. You're on the call. We know that you're listening. Pick us up. We'll sell out in any which way you want. But so I come up and I'm like, all right, Andrew, there's this episode of Dragon Ball Super where Trunks, Vegeta, and Bulma go on a big vacation to an island.
That counts.
Two of them are having a wonderful time. Vegeta is decidedly not having a wonderful time. He gets fucked up by an octopus. And it's I like it. And to me, that episode says that Dragon Ball Super rules.
Yeah, we're hitting all the classics. We're hitting Avatar: The Last Airbender. They got a good beach episode. We're hitting The Office. They have a good beach episode.
Did they go to where in Pennsylvania is there a beach?
I don't know, but Michael Scott took him there because he thought he was getting a job up at corporate. And Pam declares her love for Jim and says that she wishes that they were friends still. It's a good episode, Riley. It's very deep. Andy floats down a river in a big old inflatable sumo suit. I'm just saying this is the most chill media rewatch podcast of all time.
I think it would be cool. I think it would be relaxed. I think we have a lot of stuff here at our kind of behest. Now, are we also recording on a beach?
Absolutely. This is my excuse to go to Bali.
You and I move.
Yeah, we're gonna go. We sit down. We've got lounge chair on one side, lounge chair on the other side, little table in the middle. It's got 2 recorder, and we got a little umbrella above us both. People serving us Mai Tais. We're having a good time at the beach.
Are we locked into Mai Tais?
No. Whatever your beach drink of choice is.
It's just
we're on island time.
You're right. Any sort of like gin drink to me is the dream to drink on a beach.
This is the Fun in the Sun Island podcast. We could even rewatch Lost.
We could. How much of Lost is considered a beach episode until they move inward to get to that little waterfall area?
They still go to
all
beaches,
is a beach
though.
episode.
There's like it's like 90% beach.
No, it's for maybe the first 2 seasons. Hi,
the good
I'm channeling
seasons.
my good friend Wheels.
For the good seasons,
they go to the hatch. There's the house. They have the little thing by the waterfall where they find Jack's dad's coffin. Like, there is so much that happens off the beach. We can watch a season and a half of Lost at best.
That's all you need. That's my hot take. I'm planting my flag in the ground.
This is a great idea, but I have another suggestion for you.
Hit me.
This is a podcast by my friend, the GM Jeff Stormer, and the title of which is The Next Great Potato Chip Flavor Cast.
Okay.
The Next Great Potato Chip Flavor Cast. So, Andrew, what's your favorite potato chip flavor?
My favorite potato chips are probably the...
No. Not potato chip. The flavor. We are not picking Lay's, Ruffles, Kettle Cooked, or Pringles. We are picking barbecue, sour cream and onion, black pepper, or cheesy. You know what I mean?
I'm going with cheesy. We're going with whatever the Ruffles cheese flavored chips are.
Ruffle cheese flavor. That's interesting. Because to me, I'm on 2 up.
You have to include the chip in this, though.
No. It is the flavor cast.
Ruffles taste different than Lay's, though, even if it's the same flavor.
I agree. The chips are not comparable in that way. But for this podcast, we are stripping them. We are getting every different kind of cheesy that we can, one of each brand, and going, all right, is this the flavor we want to stake our brand on? Our flag? Is this the winner? Because then my favorites are the black pepper. I like black pepper and salt on my chips, or tacos at midnight Doritos.
Okay, now there's an idea.
So we are like, what are all the different flavors that come in this specific style, and what makes the best one? And I think we have to make a step right now and say that plain chips, like chips without a flavor, do not count for our bracket, because otherwise they would win.
Sure. Now, important question. Do the experimental Lay's chips count?
Yes.
So we could say like the Lay's kettle cooked everything bagel with cream cheese chips. Those could be the number one chip.
They're on the docket because that's a flavor. They're not number one chip, number one flavor.
I fail to see the distinction.
The distinction is important here.
I don't get the distinction, Riley.
Because, yes, you can get a kettle-cooked sea salt and vinegar, a Lay's sea salt and vinegar, a Ruffles sea salt and vinegar, and these are all completely different. I would never compare them.
Right, they're four different flavors of chips.
They're 4 different chips. We cut off the second part. We cut off the brand, leaving only the flavor.
So what are you proposing? That we take the chip, we dip it in water to wash off the flavoring, we throw away the chip, and then we drink the sludge and say, yes, that's the flavor I crave?
No, we take in everything that flavor has to offer.
So we just lick it off the chip.
No. We get to eat the chip too. We
have to discount half the taste.
So there's a kind of averaging here that we have to do, right? You try a chip, and then you obviously you score it in your mind. Like, we both agree wavy Lays are one of the greatest chips, or Ruffles. Like, that's a good chip. Like, Ridges are good, but you take that, you put that in, and that's part of the flavor track. And we're like, all right, so nacho cheese, not like cheesy Lays. Is that the same as a Dorito? No, but are they both cheese flavored? Yes. They must be considered in that same team of cheese. And so then every other thing that is cheese flavored fits in that section. And we look at its highs, we look at its lows, and we come to the middle to decide what it represents. And then we do that for other flavors.
So you're saying that for this podcast, we look at a style of chip and we find the most same flavor of chip. I refuse to acknowledge what you're proposing.
Chips have different flavors. It's like one of the things.
But you're saying that we just take and distill down to the most medium average element of that flavor and then put that average flavor build against each other?
Well, do we do average or do we do the heights? Do we do the highest cheese flavored versus the highest sea salt and vinegar? The highest sour cream and onion?
But then why do we have to consider the other flavors in that category?
Which is why I think that the highest is not the right answer. We have to go with the middle, which is why we have to consider every flavor.
I feel like I'm losing my mind in this discussion. I need to pitch you on a different podcast, but I've forgotten all of my other pitches.
I'm gonna give you one more thing before we get off this. Andrew, if I told you to go to the store and get 5 flavors of Doritos, what would you get?
I would get 5 separate kinds of Doritos.
Yes. If I told you to go to the store and get 3 different kinds of Coke, what would you get?
I would get
3 different flavors of Coke.
I would get 3 different flavors of the same base Coca-Cola. If you told me to go to the store,
if I told you to get 5 different flavors of chips, what would you get?
I would probably end up getting 5 different. I would get 5 different flavors, but they would also be different brands.
Yes,
and I would no. But I would also say great, here's the barbecue Lays and the barbecue Grippos, because those are different flavors of chips.
They're not different because the barbecue. They're both barbecue. Give me a different podcast.
This is different podcast idea.
Jeff Stormer is tearing this podcast.
This is
apart.
An insidious attempt by Jeff Stormer to rip us apart, and it's working. So I had to calm down for that one and take a walk. I got an idea here from Honathan Hostar, Ceramic Costumes, who says, an actual play podcast where you edit out all of the story bits, leaving in only the fun tangents and distractions that interrupted the game.
So we convert an actual play podcast into a talking podcast, into a chat podcast.
So yeah, this is the ultimate hanging out with friends podcast, because we are distilling down an actual play podcast into the moments where people are actively hanging out with each other instead of trying to further the pursuits of Ragnar the Barbarian.
Yes. Okay. This is interesting to me. And why aren't we just doing a conversation podcast where it's like, who's got something today to riff on for 30 seconds?
So for me, as someone who doesn't like actual play podcasts, this is ideal to me because it is actively rejecting everything I don't like about actual play and just giving me the remains of what I would actively enjoy, which is four friends who just spent time imagining Ragnar the Barbarian, telling me about literally anything but their adventures of Ragnar.
So what? See, the thing is, now we've shit talked this exact style of podcast before, which is four friends hanging out.
Yeah, but the thing is that this is a pitch. We have to make it.
We have to make it. And the thing is, like, I do like just like people I enjoy hanging out as a podcast. Like that to me is fine and good for my ears.
I just don't want to listen to people talk about barbarians.
And that's valid. What if we outlaw actual plays?
I mean, that's what I've done. It's how my feed is set up. I don't want to hear you tell me about your dreams, and I don't want to hear you tell me about your imaginary adventures.
Damn.
Let me tell you how we played pretend. I'm good.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I'm glad you have a hobby. I just don't want to hear about it. I'm going to tell you the same thing that my mom told me when I was 6, trying to tell her about Yu-Gi-Oh! I can't. I'm sorry.
I can't follow you down this path. Jesus Christ.
Scott Paladin writes in and says, podcast name, 3 Men and a Babadook.
3 Men and a Babadook. Okay. So you find 2 other men, and then you also find the Babadook. Gay icon.
LGBTQ icon, the Babadook, is here, and he is terrorizing 3 con men. This is a takeoff of 3 Men and a Baby.
Okay, I did not know that. This is 3
Men and a Babadook. Yes, where I think 3 Men and a Baby is about like people that try to take a baby hostage, but the baby keeps on. Baby goes on its own adventure.
Baby has hijinks.
It has hijinks. What kind of hijinks do you think the Babadook gets into?
I think the Babadook gets into a cabinet that it's not supposed to be into and starts knocking things over. And I think they're like, oh, damn, what are we supposed to do? The Babadook is wrecking this.
If we open the cabinet, the Babadook's going to get us. We can't have that.
Wait.
But we do need to get the Babadook out of the cabinet.
Where'd my copy of Pokemon Silver go? Oh, no, the Babadook has it. The Babadook is releasing all my Pokemon.
The Babadook erased my save file.
What am I supposed to do? Oh, no.
It replaced itself with a trainer named Babadook because it doesn't have enough room to fit all the characters.
The Babadook is haunting my copy of Majora's Mask.
Oh, no.
Babadook drowned.
I tried to make a sandwich, but I turned wrong, and the Babadook hit my knife and splattered mayonnaise all over my cabinets.
It's a mess. See,
Babadook!
I was thinking that this is a 4 friends sitting around and having a conversation podcast, but one of the friends is the Babadook.
I'm realizing that I'm turning this into Marmaduke, except instead of a big dog, it's a giant spooky man.
Cool. I'm looking at a suggestion for my friend Colin. I have to pivot.
Babadook's too big for his cage. Babadook.
Hey, Babadook hates 3 things. One is the loss of a parental figure in a home. The other is Mondays. The other is they love lasagna. The Baba Field. Hold on. Reimagining of the Cloverfield monster, but it's Garfield.
That's not a podcast. That's my next hit movie.
The Statue of Liberty's head crashes down in the middle of a New York street, followed by just a ton of lasagna. It was suggested from my friend Colton on Twitter. He says, a podcast that is a real-time commentary as the hosts watch through every minute of Twitch Plays Pokemon.
Okay.
Did you watch Twitch Plays Pokemon?
I heard about it secondhand from other people.
Really? You didn't watch it? This is perfect. Because I watched, it was one of those things that I tuned in consistently for, where it was like something that meant a lot to me and I enjoyed. And like, I remember sitting in there in college and going like, they've got this Venomoth that they've named All-Terrain Venomoth. He's an ATV.
Twitch Plays Pokemon was the first baseball, right?
So there's a Venn diagram that is Homestuck and Twitch Plays Pokemon, and in the middle of that is Blaseball. Like
that checks out to me.
And like Twitch Plays Pokemon has all the interactive elements because in the chat you're sitting there and you're one of like 80 people going up, 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 up. 1 second, I'm gonna close my door.
Left, close, right, down, sit, headphones. All right, nailed it.
Up.
I just did Twitch Plays Riley.
Oh, that works. I was going to use the ups as a way to sync that together. I thought that through, but you already had the good joke. Because
I got a joke ready.
We sit there and like, the amazing thing about Twitch Plays Pokemon is like they caught Zapdos. They made it through the Safari Zone, and like there's a point in the Safari Zone where you can like lose Pokemon Red because you don't have enough money to get forward, and there's no other way to make money. Like it's amazing that they beat that game, and it is truly, I think, like one of like those great things that you kind of put the internet on. They still do other shit. Like there's still like Twitch Plays like Kerbal Space Program or something. I'd watch that.
I googled Twitch Plays Pokemon, and apparently I have one of those. You know how Google shows you just like half of a Wikipedia page that you never have to click onto another website?
Yep, to make sure that other website doesn't get any ad posts or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. So they've got apparently there's a whole bracketed list of game completion that they pulled from Wikipedia. And the first thing that I noticed is that it says season 1 on the left, which indicates to me that there are other seasons. And the other thing is that there are 4 games listed here, and then a link that says 61 more rows.
What?
So there's a lot of Twitch Plays Pokemon.
Wow. Okay, so
I gotta say, here's the real question. Are we expected to watch all of these or just Pokemon Red?
I think when people say Twitch Plays Pokemon, they think of the original Twitch Plays Pokemon. And the way that when people say, like, what... Naruto, they mean the original Naruto. They don't mean
the good one.
Don't mean Shippuden. They don't mean Boruto. And so Pokemon Red's Twitch Plays Pokemon was it. Like that was it. That was the end. No one watched the Crystal one. No one watched the Pokemon Emerald, or that apparently they're doing Omega Ruby now. Like they're
using a bunch of like modded games now. I couldn't remember the word for that.
Wild. Fascinating.
So you're saying, so we go in, so you've done a podcast that took 10 hours before, and how did that go?
I think it went great. It was wonderful. I don't regret any part of it, and it was only a good time.
Cool. We only need to do this one. It's just a little bit longer. It's 16 days, 9 hours, 55 minutes, and 4 seconds. So basically the podcast you did, and then we just add about 16 days.
Now, Andrew, the important note is it does not say this is one episode of Riley and Andrew watch Twitch Plays Pokemon. We don't do just one episode. We watch many. You know what I mean? We watch it and then we go like, all right, that was 30 minutes. We're good. And we have, what's 30 minutes divided by 16 days?
So what? You get 16 times 24 times 2. So here, 16 times 24 times 2. Because that is how many hours? So 768 half hours plus 20. Oh, not times 20 plus. Well, times 20 divided by 20 plus 20. So we're going to get about 800 episodes.
This is incredible to me. This is like if we did a Power Rangers rewatch podcast. We'd be doing this forever. And since we're only doing the first season, we don't need to worry about continuing it forward. We can just be good. We can just call it. You know what I mean?
I feel like we're going to lose steam around episode like 320.
But then we power through. You know what I mean? That's exactly. You were making this analogy with the Boruto episode. We lost steam around hour 5 to hour 7. But then once we patch episode 300 and we get to episode 600 eventually, that's when like there's that light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay, so it is just like Naruto.
It is just like Naruto, yeah.
Okay. I got a podcast here.
Yeah, what you got?
This one came to us from @CelloBuster. And they sent us the song Gotta Catch 'Em All, Cinnabon.
Which is Gotta Catch a Mall, Cinnabon.
Yes, correct.
This is like a diners, drivers, and dives kind of setup where we are going from mall to mall across America right as they close down. Again, they're all closing behind us. We're leaving a trail of malls in our make. We are sponsored by like people who own malls, Simon or whatever the hell. And Simon sends us to here, and we go there, we try Cinnabon, and if we do not rate it 5 stars, that mall closes.
So we are the harbingers of retail and capitalism as a whole.
Yes. We are the two horses.
This sounds to me more like we're sponsored by Amazon. That we're just like, time to go rate and review retail stores and see if they're 2-hour whims.
God.
We're here. Bezos has sent us to go and rate malls based off of. I want to expand this out a little bit, not just Cinnabons, but we're gonna catch any little kiosks that people are selling things from. So maybe you get a little robot dog at one place. Maybe I'll get a nail art kit for myself. Maybe I'll even get a chance to eat Dippin' Dots, which my mom would never let me get when we went to the mall because it cost $8 for a tiny cup.
But it's the ice cream of the future.
It's the ice cream of the future. She doesn't get it.
She doesn't get it. Parents don't understand. So we're rating the individual parts of a mall in this way and deciding if it lives or dies. Do we visit the mall as it is now and then compare it against the mall as it was at its peak?
I don't think we can do that because it's not the 80s.
Well, I mean, we can call somebody who was alive in the 80s, right? They're still alive?
There's nothing I want to do less than call someone and say, tell me about the mall you went to when you were a teenager.
Then here's my second pitch. Since it specifies Gotta Catch a Mall, Cinnabon, we are doing food courts. And only food courts, because the food court's going to have the most activity still. Food courts are still going to be alive. Food courts are still going to be kicking. And so we are going to go, and we're going to stroll in, and I'll be like, all right, Andrew, there's a Taco Bell, a Panda Express, a Sbarro's, and another Sbarro's, weirdly enough. And then one
double
like
Sbarro's is
it's rough. Yep. And there's a Wetzel's Pretzels. Where do we go? What are we doing? What are we eating? And
this actually sounds like an A+ food court, if I'm being perfectly honest. A-. They've got double Sbarro's.
Really? Pull up the food court to your local mall right now.
All right.
The last mall you went to.
So the problem is I went to the fancy mall last time I went to a mall.
It's okay. I'm going to my college's mall, the Coral Ridge Mall in Iowa City.
Now, I will say, this is listed on the 12 Oaks Mall page, listed as dining, so you know it's good.
Okay, I've got a Chick-fil-A. I have a portable Olive Garden, a Panda Express, a Panera Bread, and a juice bar. And Saraku, Japan, and they got rid of the Taco Bell that was there. That sucks. That's
a minus. That's gonna dock them. Yeah. I do like a good Japanese or Chinese or really kind of any Asian place that'll give you free samples.
There was a mall that I used to go to in college where it had a sushi bar that was just like you couldn't walk in. It was just like a buffet table and like bar stools, and you would walk up and be like, "Can I get this?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, sure." And they'd kind of freaking give it to you, and they'd have sports on in the background. It was just like two dudes who owned it. It ruled.
That sounds great. Last mall I went to was the 12 Oaks Mall. I know that this has some restaurants interspersed. I will be excluding them because they are not in the food court proper.
I also excluded restaurants, so we're good.
We got A&W All American Food. We've got Annie Ann's Cinnabon Cafe. We've got Charlie's Philly Steaks. We've got Kirby's Coney Island.
Okay.
We've got Mrs. Fields. I think has a little stand in the food court, but it's not like
that counts. That counts.
That one it doesn't count actually. Cut that one.
Cut that one.
We've got Nordstrom's Eat. No, that's in Nordstrom. What the fuck am I talking about? We got a Sparrows. Sorry. We've got Surf City Squeeze, which is good. They make those nice little what do you call them? Smoothies. We got a Zoop.
Oh, a Zoop is good. Zoop is good.
Most importantly, we got a Taco Bell.
That to me is an A+ food court. That is like 5 stars. This mall gets to live on the strength of its food court. It gets to stay here.
So one thing that I learned in I used to work at a movie theater, and one thing that they told us, the manager was like, you got to look at our business. Like, you're looking at the business wrong if you expect that our business is to sell movie tickets. Movie tickets aren't where the money is. We are a restaurant that you can go to and watch a movie. I feel like, I wonder if retail's the same way, where we have to look at the mall. The mall is not a retail shopping experience. It's a restaurant where you can also go get a used game at GameStop.
I have a suggestion. That's incredible. I have a suggestion here from Jeff Stormer.
We're going to save retail, Riley.
Is it a restaurant? I know the title that we were given is "Gotta Catch 'Em All," Cinnabon, but is the actual title restaurant where you can buy a used game or something?
I think our actual title is Andrew and Riley Save Retail.
Andrew and Riley Save Retail is fucking good. I have one more suggestion from Jeff Stormer. A mascot review podcast where the only criteria for success is how likely is it that this mascot would need, use, and endorse this product or service.
I have bad news for you.
Do you have a mascot phobia?
I do.
That is valid. I am like drawn to mascots because like I'm like, oh my god, it's them. My brain is like a baby, and like when I was in Disney World, I would see Goofy, and I was like, oh my god, it's Goofy, and my wife would freeze up and be like, I don't want to go over there, and I'd be like, okay, we don't have to. Like,
I'm on your wife's side. Nah, fuck a mascot. That could be anyone under the mask. Even worse, it could be no one. That could just be Goofy. I can't imagine that you're just like, are you telling me that's Mr. Peanut?
I know it could be Mr. Peanut. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Mr. Peanut isn't real. But Andrew, when I see a cosplayer, when I see somebody in a costume, I lose that critical part of my brain. And I'm like, oh my God, it is Donald Duck.
You are, I get it. I appreciate you. I can't follow you on this path because I am the same way. Fun fact about myself: when I was in high school, my family went out to a local barbecue joint for my birthday one year. It was kind of what we, as a family, would go out to celebrate the kids' birthdays. And what I didn't know at the time was that a guy that I knew named Sean, be a little too strong to say that we were friends due to some behind-the-scenes drama. Related to a couple episodes back. So this is the long story of Andrew in high school. But Sean had just gotten a job at Famous Dave's barbecue, where his job was to dress up as Wilbur the pig and entertain people.
Oh no. That's exactly what I want when I go out to eat, is I want to be accosted by a man in a mascot suit.
And so in Sean's eyes, he was in the restaurant and said, oh, hey, that's my friend Andrew. I'll give him a little extra attention so that he has a good time. Meanwhile, I had the absolute worst night of my life. As I sat in a restaurant trying to like keep an eye over my shoulder, wondering when the fuck the pig with the dead eyes was going to come back. So no, I can't follow you on this journey because Wilbur ruined it for you. Fuck you, Sean.
Fuck you, Sean. Okay. I can save this. I can save this podcast pitch.
Okay.
We are understanding mascots too broadly, too specifically, right?
Judging by the prompt, I think that you're right, because this it sounds like this includes shit like Mr. Clean.
Yeah, Mr. Clean, Crash Bandicoot. Like, we aren't thinking there are no costumes in here.
What is Crash Bandicoot a mascot for?
PlayStation 2?
Was he?
Wasn't he like a station mascot in the way that Mario's a mascot for Nintendo? Wasn't like Crash, Rat, and Ratchet like mascots for PlayStation?
I don't think they count if they're the product being sold.
But like Mario's a mascot, right?
I think he's a character. I think some people would consider him a mascot, but I don't, because I'm not scared of him.
Hi ho!
Hi ho!